1000. 45 feet of the freshest vegetables, unlimited house-made soups, bakery, and more. Sweet Tomatoes. Eat well, repeat. And now, enjoy dinner for only $9 Monday through Friday.
There was a time when eating healthy didn't mean kale smoothies, overpriced salads, or counting calories. It meant piling your plate high with pasta, baked muffins, creamy soups, and a mountain of salad, all under one roof. This place was Sweet Tomatoes. For over 40 years, Sweet Tomatoes, known as Souplantation in California, was one of America's most beloved buffet chains. It was fresh, affordable, family-friendly, and somehow made vegetables exciting. But in 2020, it all came to an abrupt and heartbreaking end. Today, we're diving deep into the rise, the success, and the fall of a restaurant that made healthy all-you-can-eat actually work. This is the story of Sweet Tomatoes, the buffet chain that was too fresh to fail. It all started in 1978 in San Diego, California. A man named Dennis J. founded a restaurant he called Souplantation. His vision was simple, but revolutionary for its time. Instead of greasy fried food or heavy steakhouse meals, he wanted to create a self-served buffet focused on freshness, salads, soup, pasta, and baked items made from scratch daily. The first location was small, casual, and incredibly popular. People loved the idea that they could build their own plate from endless options that actually felt good to eat. The success was immediate. By the early 1980s, Souplantation made multiple locations across Southern California. But the real expansion came later, when the concept began to move beyond California. Since the name Souplantation was already taken everywhere, the company rebranded for nationwide growth as Sweet Tomatoes. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Sweet Tomatoes became a nationwide hit. The bright, cheerful restaurants, with their green and red color scheme and long, overflowing salad bars, felt welcoming to everyone. The concept was simple: one fixed price, endless combinations. Guests could build a salad with dozens of toppings, grab soups like clam chowder or chicken noodle, and finish it off with warm focaccia bread and chocolate lava cake. The company marketed itself as fresh, wholesome, and community-oriented. Unlike other buffets that focused on indulgence, Sweet Tomatoes offered something different. It made customers feel good about eating there. Families loved it because it was affordable. Health-conscious customers loved it because of the options. And kids loved it because, well, who doesn't want unlimited dessert? By 2005, there were over 100 locations across the U.S., stretching from Florida to Texas. Sweet Tomatoes had built a loyal customer base that loved its consistency. What made Sweet Tomatoes special wasn't just the food, it was the atmosphere. Each restaurant had a massive salad bar centerpiece surrounded by rooting soup and pasta stations. Everything was made in-house daily. The menu rotated monthly, keeping things fresh and seasonal. One week you might find lemon azul soup, the next week spicy chili or broccoli cheddar. And of course, who could forget the muffins? Those blueberry muffins and cheese focaccia slices became the stuff of legend. Employees often described working there as fun but fast-paced, and regularly formed relationships with their favorite staff. Sweet Tomatoes wasn't just a restaurant, it was a ritual for millions of families. But by the late 2010s, Sweet Tomatoes began to face challenges. The restaurant industry was changing fast. Fast casual chains like Chipotle, Panera Bread, and Sweetgreen offered made-to-order salads and soups without the overhead cost of buffets. And while Sweet Tomatoes promoted health, it was still a buffet, a concept that was slowly going out of style. Operating costs increased, food waste became a big problem, and the margins shrank. The chain's parent company, Garden Fresh Restaurants, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2016, closing dozens of locations in an attempt to restructure. The loyal customers remained, but it was clear Sweet Tomatoes was no longer expanding, it was surviving. Then came 2020. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, buffet-style dining instantly became one of the riskiest business models imaginable. Shared utensils, open food displays, and consistent customer contact made it impossible to comply with new health standards. In May 2020, Garden Fresh Restaurants announced that all 97 remaining Sweet Tomatoes and Souplantation locations were closing permanently. The company cited the impossibility of transitioning to a take-out model. The buffet was the heart of their concept, and without it, there was nothing left to offer. For many, it was heartbreaking loss. Sweet Tomatoes wasn't just another restaurant, it was part of people's lives. Families had celebrated birthdays there, friends caught up after work there, generations grew up walking through those salad lines, and just like that, it was gone. Even though Sweet Tomatoes is gone, its memory is still alive and well online. Fans have recreated their favorite recipes, from the Jonah's Broccoli Madness salad to the house-made ranch dressing and their fan favorite mac and cheese. There are Facebook groups dedicated to memories of the restaurant, and petitions pop up every few months begging for its return. And surprisingly, there have been whispers of potential revival efforts by former employees and franchisees. But as of 2025, Sweet Tomatoes remains just that, a memory.